Hello everyone, welcome back to Grounded Roots Healing. My name is Jason and I'm a spiritual teacher here on YouTube. And today I'm going to talk about a cacao ceremony that I attended just yesterday, which was kind of amazing. As you can see, I'm back in the car and I'm not in a particularly nice spot. Our vehicle needed charging, so I decided to charge the car and kill two birds with one stone. So I'm just gonna do this here, and hopefully that's all right with everyone. So the cacao ceremony, which was epic, was only I think 2.5 hours. It was done locally here by Jillian and Christy at Sacred Synergy Collective here in Antigonish, Nova Scotia. And it was a beautiful location, overlooking the harbor. It's an amazing setup. They had set up a sort of an altar space in the center of the room with yoga mats and bolsters all the way around. And we had, I believe it was Christy had picked tarot cards and put one at each station, and then we intuitively picked our spots, which I'll get to a little bit later. So the whole ceremony was amazing. The setup was amazing. What is going on with cacao? Why does it have an effect at all? I mean, it's just cocoa, right? Or chocolate, liquid chocolate, essentially. Not quite. I mean, basically, yes, but there's a little more ceremony to this. So, as I always say, we are all energy, and I mean all energy, including the matter that our bodies and minds, our brains, are made out of, and it's all vibrating at different frequencies. It's coagulated down into such a low vibration that it has the emergent properties of what we call matter, substance, but it's still energy. So, and we're inhabited by our soul, which is pure energy. Now, the soul inhabits the body and uses it as an avatar, sort of the puppet strings of the whole system. And we have chakras. So our chakras are a part of our soul that vibrates at different frequencies as it comes down through our body, and as we perceive frequency in the light spectrum as colors. Okay, so everything's energy, everything's vibrating, everything has its own vibrational frequency, including all of our chakra systems. Now, the cacao ceremony was designed to open our heart chakra, which, as I think, is specific to the cacao. Well, it was a bean, I believe. Yeah, chocolate, I believe, is from a bean. And it's specific to the heart chakra. So what's happening there? When we have crystals and different elements, like silver, they're vibrating at specific frequencies. So I've already done videos in this regard talking about the properties of each crystal and how the color of the crystal corresponds to the chakra, because the vibrational frequency of that crystal in that particular color aligns with the same vibrational frequency of the chakra that our energy body's inhabiting in this human mind-body complex, as I've been calling it lately. This would be brain-body complex. It'd be less confusing, I think. Anyway, if crystals and our bodies and every piece of plastic in this car are vibrating at a different frequency, then also are every plant, every fungus, everything that we can see or touch is vibrating at a frequency. Now, we also know that this is an illusion, or at least that's what I'm purporting this to be. This is a matrix. This is a game. It's a schoolhouse Earth where we come to play these games. And the three-dimensional vibrational matrix that we are all lodged in is very convincing. And I've often said that they hide the real truth in these ridiculous things like tarot cards and astrology, which are the actual truth. But if we knew that, if it was obvious to us, it wouldn't be much of a game because we'd have all the answers. So we hide, because we designed this, all this stuff in plain sight in front of us in these seemingly ridiculous, at least to these three-dimensionally lodged humans, which I was one of these. All of this stuff seems absolutely insane because the three-dimensional matrix is so convincing that how could you believe that a tarot card could possibly predict the future or tell you if you're on the right path? Well, it's pretty accurate, actually. So where am I going with this? The universe also hides methods to raise our vibration in different plants and funguses. Some of these plants, we refer to them as psychedelic plants. Now, every society on the planet before becoming modern, when we were hunter-gatherers and agrarian peoples, used shamanic practices and religious practices. And it almost seems like that every one of these societies had a strategically placed psychoactive substance put in their environment, and somehow the local people found these and used them to their advantage. The original name for a psychoactive plant, we call psychedelics now, which are also illegal in Canada, are, ask yourself why that's the case, was entheogenic, or antigens, meaning you see God when you take them. That was the original interpretation of what was happening when you would take these substances. So when that happens, which I'll do an entire video on this topic, but we're just getting to the cacao substance in particular, or what it's doing. So things like marijuana, which is legal in Canada, they raise your vibration a certain amount. It's not as much as a psychoactive, psychedelic mushroom, say, or whatever else is available in these areas, but it does raise your vibration enough that you can get some relief from this three-dimensional mind. And that's why a lot of people like to use this stuff, because it's legal here in Canada, and I did use it for a long period of time, marijuana that is, and several years. And I felt that when I was asleep in the three-dimensional matrix, it kind of pulled me up a level, say 4D, which is not actually dimensions. There's no different dimensions, but we'll say fourth frequential level. And it would pull me up into there, and then I could look down and see what my ego was doing, and I could also form conclusions better. So it was like thinking lubricant for me, but it eventually just became a panacea for dealing with emotional trauma. So, but that only takes you so high. And once you raise your vibration to a certain point, these things that would take you from, say, 3D to 4D, we'll use the vernacular. If you're at 4D all the time, then your 4D substance, or 3.5D substance, will actually lower you when you take it. So they stop being effective as you raise your vibration. The psychedelic stuff is not the same. That takes you a lot higher. And that's what I believe is happening. Okay, so that brings us to cacao. Cacao is a substance. It's not psychoactive, but it is a substance that affects vibrationally parts of our chakra system. So in this particular case, treated sacredly and with reverence, and done in a specific dose, and done in a controlled environment with people guiding you through it, This absolutely raised and opened my heart chakra. So it raised my vibration. Not to mention, you're sitting in a room with a bunch of high vibrational people, which is, again, our auras are overlapping, and this is going to help you raise your vibration as well. And the energy in that place in particular is very good because of the way they have it set up. So they have an altar. It's very organized and neat. And if you've heard of Feng Shui, the energy in a room, that is what they're doing when they do Feng Shui. It's manipulating the energy of the room to be at its highest vibrational level. This is also why people have OCD, not to the point where it's harmful to them, but this need or want to have everything in its proper right place and organized is because you want the energy to be higher. So that's a whole other video as well. Okay, so the ceremony in itself, as I said, it was Jillian and Christy who hosted the ceremony, and there were several other people there. I won't speak to their experiences, so I'll only speak to mine. But we did breath work, we did guided meditation, we did Reiki, we did sound bowls, we did movements, and all in a 2.5 hour period, I believe, and all super effective. And one of these exercises I actually so it's, like I said, it was designed to open your heart chakra. Your heart chakra's color is green. The high heart chakra, which is more of your soul's heart, let's say, would be a better interpretation of it, is a turquoise color. It's like a blue-green, and it's higher up. And when I did this like introductory meditation, I saw nothing but turquoise in my inner vision. Completely flooded my vision. It was bright as can be. And I saw a flash of a face. No, I didn't recognize it because it was just a pop and then it was gone. I was like, whoa, what was that? And then I felt a kiss on the side of my left cheek. Now, my wife Amanda was to the right, and she asked, when she was doing this, for a kiss from her grandmother who's deceased, and she got one on her forehead, and then her grandmother came over and kissed me on the cheek, and I saw her face flash into my vision. I immediately knew what that was after she said that. So that was pretty cool. That's just the start. And and you know, Christy had laid out tarot cards around in the circle, and we intuitively picked our spots. And when I read my tarot card, I literally, it gave me basically my spiritual path, what my purpose is here. And it's not that it gave it to me, it confirmed what I already knew. And so that was pretty cool as well. And there was a lot of other people here, and they all had wonderful experiences, and I'm sure they would agree that this was an amazing experience. Sound bowls were amazing. Now today, I have a little bit of a sore body. I had to do something else. Well, not important, but I was doing some physical work over the last day, which was pretty strenuous, so my body's sore, but also I can feel that soreness that you often get after you have Reiki, which is when your body was tight from holding on to this energy or holding on to trauma in a particular place, and when you release it, there's a sort of a muscular release as well, and in your muscles can actually be sore, like you worked out. It's not painful or anything, it's just kind of achy, and then it goes away and you feel way better. And I do feel way better. My last video, I was on an absolute trough of this 2-step forward, 1-step back system that this awakening process is. And now I feel like this has turned the corner and we're starting to go back up a slope, which is nice. But I'm already starting to prep myself for the next downturn, because I know what's coming, like I said. I'm not afraid of it, but this time I'd like to actually succeed in holding my energy through it next time. Holding my focus. And let's see, I know I'm missing something. Oh yeah. So today I've had I've I've always had the ability to tell when the ego was taking over. Not tell, recognize it. Maybe it was be a little bit down the road or something, a few minutes, say, and then be like wrestle it back. Or some days where I'll actually have complete separation, but it's not as often as it is more that I recognize it after a few minutes and then pull back controls. Today, I was busy doing something and I could just hear this annoying voice in my head, which is the ego, trying to drag me down these stupid paths that it always does. And I was able to, for the first time in a long time, to have complete separation from myself, the soul, the Jason that is, and the ego. And I was literally annoyed listening to the ego yammer on about the stupidest stuff that I don't care about anymore. So I was like saying, just shut up. And then I'd do a kind of a mini centering exercise to try to quiet it down, and then it would come right back and try again, but I was completely separate from it the entire day. I might have got pulled down that, like I said, for like 30 seconds, and then I'd be like, and back on track. So that is some major progress for me. That feels good. That's a quiet mind. And I think eventually he got sick of not being able to wrestle control back, and he kind of shut up. So I feel really good tonight. I mean, like I said, my body's tired and stuff, but I feel good mentally. And then last night, thanks to Amanda, well, she dealt with some stuff as well. I was able to, first of all, I realized what my heart needed me to do. So that was another exercise. And it wanted me to trust people. So I've had walls around my heart due to the stuff that's happened to me in my childhood, and I was unable to let that go or let the walls down. You can heal the trauma, but can you heal the inner child putting the walls around your heart to avoid getting hurt again? So this is also behavior from the trauma, and it all has to be fixed. So I definitely softened them at least, and with Amanda's help last night, we talked through some stuff, because she healed some stuff as well. So it really helped. And, you know, I dealt with more traumatic stuff, and it's done. It's dealt with, You know, I hope I get more out of this over the next few days, but if I don't, that was incredibly valuable. I think $111 I spent. It was the most valuable money I've spent in a long time. You know, it's not quite on par with a 3-day men's retreat, but in a few hours, what I got out of that is incredible. So do yourself a favor. Go see, if you're living locally and you're watching this, go to some of Jillian and Christy's, they have Go Reiki, which I've done a video on, and as well as other things like sound baths and meditations. Go to some of their events, and you will not regret it. So I think that's where I'll leave it. Now I have a crystal today. I had to rummage around in the car because I didn't think about that before I left. And I have a citrine crystal. Now citrine, it's beautiful. Citrine is quartz, as amethyst is quartz. And it's this yellow color, or citrine. And yellow, yeah, it's yellow. And it's basically the same as amethyst. A lot of this is actually amethyst that they heat treat to change the iron molecules into this orange color. So it changes the vibrational frequency from that high vibe purple color to this lower vibe vibrational yellow. But that aligns with your solar plexus. Now the solar plexus, solar sun. So all of this stuff starts to make sense when you start thinking about it. The language is everything. So the properties of citrine. So it's effective in building confidence. And that is because it's, like I said, these are aids. So if the vibrational frequency of this is associated with a specific chakra in your body, whatever that chakra is responsible for, this will aid in clearing that or raising up the frequency or helping you with blockages. So that is what the solar plexus helps you with, or is responsible for, let's say, and this assists in the functionality of that. So it's good for self-confidence. It gives you confidence. It also helps you manifest things. So it amplifies your intention. So be careful if you do use this. Make sure your intentions on your thoughts, because thoughts are just as powerful as the words you're speaking. Make sure you're putting all your intention into good things that you want to manifest. So normally what I always say is I will manifest abundant wealth, because I think I can make all the rest of the stuff happen if I have the abundant wealth to do it with. So that is my mantra, I guess you'd call it, when I'm using this, and I've already done that several times today. I do it every day. Now let's see when that kicks in and I get that abundant wealth, but not yet. But we're getting closer. I can feel it. So I think I'll leave it there for today. So as I always say, I hope this video finds you well. I love you all, and we'll see you tomorrow.